The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the arid Nevada landscape as Alex Carter, a retired Army engineer, navigated the dusty back roads. He had heard rumors of a long-forgotten military warehouse hidden among the sparse scrublands, supposedly full of old war relics. Today, his curiosity had finally gotten the better of him. As he approached the coordinates, the rusty, corrugated iron structure of the warehouse emerged from behind a rocky outcrop. The padlock on the door was old and gave way with a satisfying crunch under his bolt cutters. Alex pushed open the door, the hinges groaning in protest, revealing a cavernous space filled with dust-covered tarps and crates. "Jackpot," Alex muttered to himself, his voice echoing slightly in the vast emptiness. He pulled off the nearest tarp, revealing the unmistakable silhouette of a WU-2-era tank, its once formidable exterior now dulled by layers of dust. As he inspected the machine, he could hardly believe the condition it was in. "Never thought I'd see one of these up close," Alex said, climbing up to the hatch. It creaked open, surprisingly easy, and he descended into the driver's seat. Everything inside seemed intact. As he familiarized himself with the controls, a bright flash from outside caught his eye. Curious, he climbed out of the tank and walked towards the warehouse entrance. The sky above was illuminated by a pulsating light. What in the world? Alex shielded his eyes as he stepped outside, just in time to see a strange, metallic object descend with a silent grace, despite its massive size. It landed with a soft thud a few hundred meters away. From the object, a ramp descended, and figures began to emerge. They weren't human. Their movements were smooth, almost fluid, and their bodies were encased in shiny armor that reflected the dying light of the sun. Alex ducked behind the tank, his heart pounding. "This can't be happening," he whispered to himself. As he watched, one of the figures raised what looked like a weapon and fired towards a distant, abandoned vehicle. The car exploded in a ball of fire and shrapnel. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Alex scrambled back into the tank, closing the hatch almost silently. He knew it was a long shot, but if the tank could be started, it might be his only chance. Come on," Alex murmured, flipping switches and pressing buttons from memory of his training days. With a shudder and a deep, mechanical groan, the engine came to life. Outside, the figures turned towards the sound, their weapons ready. Holding his breath, Alex gripped the controls. "Time to see what you've got left in you," he said to the tank, more to steady his nerves than anything else. With a deep inhale, he maneuvered the tank forward, the old gears grinding but holding strong. As he approached the open warehouse door, he realized there was no going back now. Alex maneuvered the ancient tank out of the warehouse, its tracks clattering loudly on the rough terrain. He peered through the periscope, observing the alien figures regrouping near their ship. They looked nothing like the little green men of popular culture, but rather towering, silver beings that moved with an unsettling grace. As he watched, a voice crackled over the tank's old radio, static-laden but unmistakably human. "Unidentified vehicle, identify yourself. This is the U.S. military," the voice demanded. "This is Alex Carter, a retired Army engineer. I'm not the threat here," Alex responded, his voice tense as he kept his eyes on the aliens. "What's your situation, Alex?" the voice on the radio asked, now noticeably calmer. "I've got a group of, aliens? They landed right outside my location. I'm in an old tank I found. It's operational. I'm armed but not looking to start a war." There was a pause on the line. "Stay put, Alex. Help is on the way. Maintain radio silence unless there's a change." Alex put down the receiver and focused on the aliens. They were communicating among themselves, seemingly unfazed by the military's interest. One of them, larger than the rest, stepped forward and raised a device. The air vibrated with an eerie hum. Suddenly, the radio crackled back to life. "Alex, we're picking up some kind of transmission. Are you seeing anything?" Before Alex could reply, a brilliant beam of light shot from the device, striking the ground near the warehouse. The earth shook, and a shockwave knocked the tank sideways. Regaining his bearings, Alex grabbed the radio. "They're hostile. I repeat, they are hostile." "Understood. Engage at your discretion, Alex. Backup is en route." Steeling himself, Alex adjusted the tank's turret, aiming at the alien who had fired. With a deep breath, he pulled the trigger. The tank recoiled as the shell launched, flying straight towards its target. The explosion was blinding, and when the smoke cleared, the alien lay motionless. The others quickly regrouped, their movements now clearly aggressive. Alex worked the controls, firing again and again. Each shot felt like a gamble, but the old tank held up, its shells finding their marks. As he fought, Alex could see distant sirens and the glow of reinforcements approaching, but the aliens were advancing, undeterred by the tank's onslaught. Suddenly, a new voice broke through the radio, urgent and commanding. "Alex, this is Captain Rodriguez. We're minutes out. Keep them engaged if you can." "Roger that, Captain," Alex replied, wiping sweat from his brow. He fired another shell, watching as it struck an alien shield, the impact less effective than he hoped. The ground forces arrived in a convoy of armored vehicles, their guns blazing. The aliens turned their attention towards the new threat, giving Alex a moment of respite. "Alex, form up with us! Let's push them back together!" Captain Rodriguez's voice was clear and resolute over the radio. With a nod to himself, Alex steered the tank to join the military line, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they advanced, a united front of humanity standing against the unknown. As the dust settled from the initial skirmish, Alex found himself at the center of a makeshift command tent, surrounded by military brass and tactical screens. Captain Rodriguez, a stern yet approachable figure, laid out the situation. "We've pushed them back for now, but our intel suggests this was just a probing attack. There will be more," Rodriguez explained, pointing at the satellite images flickering on the screen. The images showed a cluster of alien crafts hovering just beyond the atmosphere. Alex, still clad in his grease-stained overalls, felt out of place among the seasoned soldiers. "What's the plan?" he asked, his hand subconsciously patting the side of his helmet. "We fortify and counterattack. Your tank, it's old, but it did some serious damage out there. We need to know why and how," Rodriguez said, eyeing Alex with a mix of curiosity and respect. "I've got a theory on that," Alex replied, stepping forward. He began detailing the modifications he had made to the tank, using scraps of advanced technology he had found in the warehouse. "The ammo's old but effective. Seems like their shields aren't calibrated for low-tech ballistics." A murmur ran through the room. "You're saying that this WBO-2 tank could be the key to breaking their defenses?" another officer asked, skeptical. "Possibly," Alex admitted. "But I'll need to upgrade it further. If we can integrate some of their tech I saw on the field, we might stand a chance at punching through their shields consistently." The team quickly formed a plan. Alex would work with a small crew to retrofit the tank with alien technology salvaged from the battlefield. Meanwhile, the rest of the forces would prepare for the next wave of attacks. The following days were a blur of welding torches, circuit boards, and hasty tutorials on alien technology. Alex, with the help of a young tech specialist named Mia, managed to enhance the tank's weaponry and armor. Mia, a quick learner with a knack for alien tech, became an indispensable part of the team. "Think this old beast can handle a few more upgrades?" Mia joked one evening, handing Alex a newly fabricated part for the tank's main cannon. "It'll have to," Alex chuckled, wiping his brow. "We're about to find out if we can teach an old dog some new tricks." The moment of truth came sooner than expected. As they were testing the tank on the field, alarms blared. The aliens had launched a full-scale offensive. Alex and Mia scrambled into the tank, powering up the systems with the new modifications. "Ready for this?" Alex asked, glancing at Mia, who nodded, her expression determined. The tank rolled out, now sleeker and more potent with its hybrid technology. As the alien forces advanced, Alex lined up his shot, accounting for the new power settings Mia had configured. The cannon fired, and the shell, enhanced with alien energy, struck an alien craft, piercing its shield and sending it crashing down. "Direct hit!" Mia shouted, her voice a mix of surprise and triumph. Encouraged by their success, Alex pushed forward, the tank's engine roaring beneath them. Each shot was a test, each maneuver a lesson learned in real time. The battle raged around them, but with each passing moment, Alex and his makeshift crew proved that even the oldest warrior could find new life on the battlefield. After their surprising victory using the retrofitted tank, Alex and Mia found themselves at the center of a burgeoning resistance movement. Survivors from the nearby towns, inspired by the news of their success, began converging on their base in the Nevada desert. It was time to scale their efforts. In the hastily expanded camp, makeshift workshops and training grounds sprung up as more people joined daily. Captain Rodriguez appointed Alex as the head of the vehicle retrofitting team, a role that Alex took on with solemn responsibility. "We need to replicate what you've done here," Rodriguez said during a strategy meeting, his finger tapping on the blueprint of Alex's tank. "If we can arm more vehicles with these hybrid capabilities, we can form a proper armored division." Alex nodded, understanding the weight of the task. "We'll need more parts, specifically more alien tech. The last encounter left a lot of debris. We should salvage what we can. A salvage operation was organized, and Alex led a team into the field. As they approached the remnants of the previous battle, the scene was surreal. Crashed alien vessels lay scattered across the desert, their metallic bodies glinting under the sun. While the team worked, Alex found himself teaching volunteers how to identify and extract valuable technology. You want to look for anything that glows. Those are usually power components. Be careful, though, some of them can be unstable. He instructed a group of eager new recruits. Mia, meanwhile, took a lead role in adapting the alien technology for human use. Her workshop became a hub of activity, with people from all walks of life learning to integrate alien circuitry with earthly materials. The community that grew around the resistance was diverse, each member bringing their own skills and stories to the table. In the evenings, they would gather around campfires, sharing tales of survival and hope. During one such gathering, a burly man named Tom shared his story of escape from an alien-held town. They came out of nowhere, but we held them strong till we could no longer. Seeing what you folks are doing here gives me a reason to fight, he said, his voice thick with emotion. Moved by these stories, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. They weren't just fighting for survival, but for the spirit of humanity. The next few weeks were a blur of activity as the base transformed from a makeshift camp into a fortified stronghold. As their preparedness grew, so did their confidence. Captain Rodriguez, observing the transformation, decided it was time to take the initiative. "We've been on the defensive too long," he declared at the next meeting. "It's time to take the fight to them." Plans were drawn for a major offensive to reclaim a key city held by the aliens. Alex's tank would lead the assault, now just one of many in the newly formed armored division. The night before the attack, Alex walked among the tanks, each marked with the hybrid technology emblem, a symbol of human resilience and innovation. "Tomorrow, we change the tide," Alex murmured to himself, a sense of determination settling in his chest. The stakes were high, but for the first time since the invasion began, there was real hope that they might just turn the tide against the alien threat. Under the stark moonlight, the newly formed armored division, spearheaded by Alex's tank, crept towards the city. It was eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the usual desert night sounds. The city's silhouette loomed ahead, its buildings darkened under alien occupation. Alex sat in his tank, tense and focused. Mia beside him monitored the hybrid systems they had installed. "Energy levels are stable, all systems go," she reported, her voice steady despite the palpable tension. Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled over the radio. "All units maintain formation. Remember, the element of surprise is key. We strike hard and fast, reclaim what's ours." As they neared the city outskirts, the silhouette of alien patrol crafts became visible against the skyline. Alex adjusted his grip on the controls. "Ready, Mia?" he asked, his gaze fixed on the approaching targets. "Ready," she confirmed, her fingers dancing over the controls to arm the weapon systems. Without warning, the night erupted into chaos as the first tank fired, its shells soaring through the air and striking an alien patrol unit. Explosions lit up the night, and the human forces surged forward. Alex maneuvered his tank into the heart of the city, targeting key alien strongholds. Each shot from his tank was echoed by responses from his unit, the city slowly coming alive with the sound of liberation. The alien forces, caught off guard, scrambled to retaliate. Their advanced aircraft swooped in, firing energy weapons that left trails of light across the dark sky. But the human forces were prepared, their vehicles equipped with anti-aircraft tech salvaged and repurposed from alien debris. "Keep pushing. Sector 4 needs backup," Rodriguez's voice directed through the commotion. Alex turned his tank, heading towards the sector under heavy fire. As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a heavily armored alien command unit. Alex paused, assessing the situation. "Mia, target the joints. It's our best shot," he instructed, lining up the tank's cannon. Mia nodded, quickly recalibrating their targeting system. The tank shuddered as it fired, the shell hitting the command unit's joint and causing it to stagger. Cheers erupted over the radio as the alien unit collapsed, its control over the sector faltering. The battle raged through the night, each sector of the city witnessing fierce clashes. But with each passing hour, the human forces reclaimed more ground, their old and new tech combined proving effective against the alien oppressors. As dawn broke, the last of the alien forces retreated, leaving behind a city battered but not broken. The survivors emerged from their hiding places, their faces etched with relief and awe as they watched the tanks roll down the streets, now symbols of freedom. Alex exited his tank, the weight of the night's events sinking in. Around him, soldiers and civilians alike celebrated, their cheers filling the morning air. Mia joined him, her eyes bright with tears of relief. "We did it, Alex. We took it back," she said, her voice choked with emotion. Alex looked around at the jubilant faces, allowing himself a moment to feel the victory. "We did," he agreed. The city's liberation not just a strategic win, but a beacon of hope for other occupied regions. With the city as a newfound stronghold, the human resistance had turned the tide of the war. It was a significant victory, a testament to their resilience and a signal that the fight was far from over. But now more than ever, it was a fight they believed they could win. The reclaimed city served not only as a refuge, but as a critical operational base for the human resistance. Intelligence gathered from the previous battles had uncovered a potential vulnerability in the aliens' command structure, centered around their mothership stationed in Earth's orbit. In a commandeered building that served as the new headquarters, Captain Rodriguez briefed the assembled leaders. "Our next move is crucial," he began, the room hanging on every word. "We've identified that the mothership controls the alien ground forces remotely. If we can disable it, we might just cripple their entire operation." Alex listened intently, aware that the success of this mission hinged on their ability to strike precisely and decisively. "What's our entry point?" he asked, leaning over the table to view the holographic display detailing the mothership's architecture. Rodriguez pointed to a small section marked in red. "Here, it's a maintenance bay. Normally it's shielded, but our techs think they can hack the bay doors open long enough for a strike team to get inside." The plan was bold and dangerous. A volunteer strike team would need to pilot a captured alien craft, approach the mothership under the guise of routine entry, and then sabotage it from within. Alex knew what he had to do. "I'll lead the team," he declared, the decision firm in his mind. The room murmured, but no one objected. They trusted Alex, whose actions had turned the tide of their resistance. Preparations began at once. The tank, which had become a symbol of Earth's defiance, was to be left behind for this mission. Instead, Alex and his team trained rigorously in the captured alien craft, learning its controls and preparing for every conceivable scenario they might face. The day of the mission arrived quickly. Alex and his team, suited in stolen alien armor, boarded the craft. The atmosphere was tense, each member aware of the mission's stakes. As they approached the mothership, Mia, who was coordinating their support from the ground, relayed the last-minute data. "You're clear to proceed. The bay doors are opening now." The craft slipped into the mothership without incident. The alien vessel was vast, a labyrinth of corridors and sectors. Alex and his team navigated through, avoiding patrols and reaching the core of the ship. There, they placed explosive charges around the central command unit, a massive structure pulsing with energy. "Once these charges go off, it should fry their control systems," Alex explained quietly, his team nodding in understanding. But just as they prepared to evacuate, they were discovered by an alien patrol. A fierce firefight ensued. Alex and his team fought bravely, but he realized they wouldn't all make it back. "Go, I'll cover you," he shouted, holding off the advancing aliens. His team hesitated, but there was no time to argue. They made their escape, heading back to the craft as Alex continued to fire, moving slowly backwards towards the command unit. As his team cleared the area, Alex activated the detonator. The charges exploded in a blinding flash, energy cascading through the ship's conduits. "Mission accomplished." Alex breathed into his communicator, a smile touching his lips even as he felt the ship begin to shudder around him. The mothership's destruction was near instantaneous, disrupting the alien forces across the globe. Alex's sacrifice marked the turning point in the human resistance against the alien invaders. His name forever remembered among those who fought for Earth's freedom. The aftermath of the mothership's destruction sent shockwaves through the alien forces, their command hierarchy thrown into disarray. On Earth, the human resistance capitalized on the confusion, launching coordinated attacks on the remaining alien strongholds. In the command center, Mia watched the live feeds from the battlefield, the weight of Alex's sacrifice pressing heavily on her. Captain Rodriguez stood beside her, directing operations with a newfound fervor driven by the loss of a friend and the tide of victory that was beginning to turn in their favor. "We've got them on the run," Rodriguez declared, his voice firm yet tinged with sadness. "Alex gave us this chance. We won't waste it." The Resistance's strategy was simple, yet aggressive. Utilizing the alien technology they had salvaged and the tactics they had honed, the human forces dismantled the alien occupation, city by city. Mia's role was crucial. Her expertise in alien technology allowed the resistance to intercept and jam alien communications, further crippling their ability to regroup. As the final stronghold neared liberation, Mia led a special tech team on the ground, her heart set on ensuring that every trace of alien control was eradicated. They moved through the city, deactivating alien tech and freeing captured humans. During one such mission, Mia stumbled upon a group of alien survivors. Expecting hostility, she raised her weapon, but stopped as she noticed their submissive posture. They communicated their surrender, offering information in exchange for mercy. Mia, remembering Alex's empathy and strategic mind, saw an opportunity. She secured the aliens, promising safety in exchange for their cooperation. "This is what he would have done," she whispered to herself, feeling a mix of sorrow and resolve. The information provided by the alien defectors proved invaluable. They revealed vulnerabilities in the aliens' Earth-based operations that had not been fully exploited. Armed with this new knowledge, the resistance prepared for a final assault. On the eve of the last battle, Mia and Rodriguez surveyed the map, their forces now surrounding the last alien enclave. "Tomorrow it ends," Mia stated, her voice resolute. Rodriguez nodded, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. The battle was fierce but swift. Human forces, emboldened by their imminent victory and the memory of those they had lost, fought with unparalleled bravery. By nightfall, it was over. The alien presence on Earth was decimated, their last forces surrendering or retreating from the planet. In the days that followed, celebrations erupted worldwide. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged victorious. Maya stood at the forefront of the victory parade, her eyes searching the crowd, feeling the bittersweet tang of triumph mixed with loss. As the commander of the new Earth Defense Network, Mia dedicated herself to rebuilding and preparing for any future threats. She established a memorial for Alex and all who had fallen, ensuring their legacies would inspire future generations. The world had changed forever, united now more than ever in its diversity and strength. Mia looked to the stars, not with fear but with a cautious hope. Earth had defended itself with the heart of its people, and while the scars of battle remained, the spirit of humanity had never shone brighter. The world slowly began to rebuild in the aftermath of the alien withdrawal. Cities that had once been battlegrounds were now hubs of reconstruction and unity. As the newly appointed head of the Earth Defense Network, Mia carried on the work that she and Alex had started, ensuring that Earth would be prepared for any future threats. In a restored park in the center of the liberated city, a ceremony was held to unveil a memorial dedicated to those who had fallen during the conflict. Mia stood before the crowd, a mix of military personnel, civilians, and dignitaries gathered to honor the heroes. "Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here not just to remember the past, but to face the future with resolve," Mia began, her voice echoing through the silent crowd. "This memorial stands as a testament to the bravery and sacrifice of those who stood against a threat from beyond our stars. Among them was a man who believed in our potential more than anyone else, Alex Carter." She paused, collecting her emotions as she gazed at the statue depicting Alex beside his tank, a symbol of human defiance and ingenuity. "Alex showed us that with courage and unity, nothing is beyond our reach. His legacy will guide us as we continue to protect our world." The crowd responded with a somber applause, many faces wet with tears. After the speeches, people moved forward to lay flowers at the base of the statue. Mia watched as families of the fallen shared stories of their loved ones, reinforcing the bonds that the war had forged between them. In the days that followed, Mia focused on strengthening Earth's defenses, using salvaged alien technology to enhance Earth's capabilities. She worked tirelessly, driven by a determination to honor Alex's memory by keeping the planet safe. But Mia's leadership extended beyond military preparations. She initiated global dialogues to foster cooperation between nations, ensuring that Earth's unified defense was backed by a politically stable and cooperative world government. Her efforts were instrumental in forming new treaties and alliances, transforming Earth into a cohesive, fortified entity. As peace settled over the planet, Mia found herself at Alex's memorial often, reflecting on the journey and the costs it had exacted on all of them. One evening, as she stood watching the sunset paint the sky above the statue, an old man approached her. He was a veteran, his face marked by the trials of the war. He saved us all, didn't he? The old man said, his voice thick with emotion as he stared up at the statue. Mia nodded, her eyes on Alex's sculpted figure. Yes, he did, and it's up to us to keep fighting in whatever ways we can, to make sure his sacrifice wasn't in vain. The veteran placed a weathered hand on her shoulder, offering a smile that spoke of gratitude and shared loss. Then we're in good hands, Commander. Mia looked out over the park, where children played and families gathered in peace. The world they had fought for was worth every sacrifice. Alex had believed that a single person could make a difference. Now, Mia carried that belief forward, ensuring that the spirit of humanity's resilience would never fade. As the stars began to appear, she whispered a quiet promise to the night, to Alex, and to the future. A promise of vigilance and hope. Earth had survived its darkest hour through unity and bravery, and now it looked to the future, stronger and more united than ever.